Hello, everybody. I'm Overhaul, and today we'll be talking about Tabata's writing of the Other Kingdoms. The usual disclaimer at the beginning of the videos. I am not a kid-specific channel. Although the topics I discuss might look like they're for kids, but it's most likely that I will start talking about things that are not appropriate for kids to hear, using words that are appropriate to hear, or just in general start describing things that are not for kids. Just look at the backstory of Tomo Shigaraki if you need an example. So, case, if you are a child, I would advise you not to watch my videos. As for everyone else, let's get on with the video. So, where do we begin with the Spade, Diamond, and Heart Kingdom? Well, let's begin simple. The gap between them and the Clover Kingdom is so huge that they are basically like if you take father villains and put them up against the main protagonist. Needless to say, there's a huge gap between power scaling between the other kingdoms and Clover Kingdom. Now, I could make an entire video about Black Clover's power scaling and the numerous problems that they have, but the simplest one is this. The gap between power is insane. Not to mention the fact that most of the other kingdoms don't really have good, powerful fighters. Now, the reason I am talking about this now is because spoilers for chapter 277, I believe it was, where Charlotte and Will fight off against Vonica and two of the 8 Shining Generals. Spoilers! If you couldn't get more. It'll be released, the chapter will be released very soon. But needless to say, spoilers for what happens. Charlotte defeats, or week by week defeats, Vonica and the two Dark Disciples basically on her own. In one chapter. It's not even a full chapter because the first 2 pages are more on Xenon's storyline. So, yeah. Charlotte defeated, week by week again, Vonica and those two. Now, the explanation is very logical and very understandable, even with the rough translations. And that those are Charlotte used the curse that she already has to find a way to use it against Magicula, create a new spell that allows her to use the curse magic from Magicula against her. So yeah, it's an understandable way for Charlotte to win. But the problem is that a lot of characters in the Clover Kingdom specifically have so many aspects of power in them to a point that even the strongest characters in the other kingdoms really only have like one specialty in them. My case? Charlotte. She not only has a magic attribute that has 2 varying degrees of power, being blue roses and red roses, but also has rune magic, has noble blood, which means that she has higher amounts of mana than a lot of people, and assuming that the other kingdoms have the same or similar logic to them, which so far hasn't been confirmed or anything, means that she probably has more than majority of the other, meaning that she has more mana than a good chunk of the people she'll become against. And now she has even found a way to use that curse in a way she can use different spells. Or create new spells using it. So, yeah, that's a lot. Not to mention the fact she also uses it as in her more weapon type of sense, but that doesn't really seem to be that much of a case. Let's compare that to Heart Kingdom characters. All the Heart Kingdom characters have are runes and naturally born and natural magic in nature. That's really pretty much it. I mean, maybe they have noble blood, but I'm pretty sure it was never hinted at that. In fact, the way that the Kingdom seems to be structured just seems to be Hard Queen, and then everyone else, with the strongest 5 being the Spirit Guardians. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The Diamond Kingdom and the Spirit Kingdom are pretty close in having something, but even those two still have limits. The Spirit Kingdom really only has those 3 devils they are using, and after that, they pretty much have nothing. While the Diamond Kingdom, okay, the Diamond Kingdom is literally known as the joke kingdom, the meme kingdom, the kingdom that's literally, oh yeah, you're still here doing something. Well, can you get out of the way? You pretty much just gonna be one shot by us. Seriously, I would be surprised if if let's say that shadowy, mysterious Diamond General shows up, and he's faces against someone like Miliona or Jack, or Langues, and they don't make the joke about, oh, you're from the Diamond Kingdom? Are you strong, or are you just pretending? Or people just talking like you're strong? Like, I would not be surprised if we get this kind of scene. Literally, Diamond Kingdom has nothing to make them intimidating. The only things they have are the magic stones, which seem to be really specific towards the new generation, which we'll get into them later. And maybe some of unique magic structures, which are just 2 grimoires together, and however they get Languis's grimoire. That's pretty much it. Then we have the Spade Kingdom that has just the devils, meaning they're relying on some other creatures that are probably gonna be killed at the end of this arc. Like maybe there'll be some free or something, couple of demons that are gonna be more noble in spirit, but probably not. So yeah. And basically the Clover Kingdom consists of characters who have everything they have high amounts of mana, they have some kind of magic technique either from the other kingdoms or their own, some kind of special type of magic that I don't believe has been explained fully how they got. I mean, Diamond Kingdom also has some, but the rest of the kingdom, and there are those flash spells from, well, body related magic attributes from the spirit, but that's pretty much it. But yeah, most of the but Clover has a bunch of different aspects. So the strongest character in those kingdoms aren't even all that powerful compared to the Clover Kingdom characters. I mean, Lopa Chica supposed to be the Wizard King of the Heart Kingdom. Well, Gaja is more likely comparable to the Wizard King than Lopa Chica, and he is barely even been shown off. Most of the things are like the filler episode, the fact that he one-shot Dark Disciples that defeated another Spirit Guardian, which that alone says a lot about the power gap, the fact of most of these characters, and yeah. And let's really go through all the kingdoms to really give you an example. Heart Kingdom. Lopa Chica, the Wizard Queen level character, only seems to be in range and in mana. Fighting? Seemingly non-existent. I mean, Toa didn't exactly convince me why Vonica fell in love with Lopa Chica, to say the least, in that fight. If you can call that a fight even. So, yeah. Lopa Chica, supposed to be the strongest, but barely even comparable. Honestly, I would say Lopa Chica is more likely a captain level if she actually fought someone than a Wizard King. Gaja? Again, I would debate Gaja even if he has less ma and doesn't have the water speed, he would probably be able to defeat her. I mean, we haven't seen much, but it's very likely he would. And he doesn't even seem to have anything special to him. He just has fundamental lightning magic and runes. All other Spirit Guardians just have runes, and that's pretty much it. Nothing unique. I mean, maybe we're gonna see more of them in the anime, and maybe later on when they show up again they'll do something, but probably not. The Diamond Kingdom, they're strong. Alright, we don't exactly know what the heck is going on with the Diamond Kingdom, but let's go through this. The old generation of the Ancient Generals has even been stated by Tabata himself that they are crumbling. They are no longer in their prime. They are pretty much just like relics of the bygone era. So they are pretty much non-existent, and none of them were. And we saw how easily they were dominated by the Golden Dawn. So they are pretty much worthless. I mean, Lotus and Funzel are more useful. In fact, I'm questioning how exactly Funzel and Lotus were not put as the generals themselves of the Diamond Kingdom, considering the fact they were pretty much as effective as those three. And then we head to the new generation, the real powerhouse of the Diamond Kingdom. Well, where do we begin with them? Well, for one, we have literally no evidence that they can even compete with the captains. Like, literally the only credit I see why people think they are captains is because Yami said, oh yeah, those oh yes, the generals are basically the Diamond Kingdom's version of the captains. Or they are equivalent to the captains. And all I'm going to say is, Yami's words are not the most definitive. And also, that's the general belief. It's like saying the spirit guy is equivalent to the captains to the Clover Kingdom. It literally means nothing. Not to mention the fact that none of the new generation have actually even proved themselves that they are. The closest one you could say is Loudress, because, well, his magic attribute is pretty overpowered. I feel like characters like Jack would probably be able to, would have a very, very, very hard time beating him. I mean, I would like to see it, and I'm hoping we do see it, but we just don't know. Mars? I can see it, but if that's the case, it wasn't shown to us. I mean, granted, the reason why he was defeated in the dungeon was because he was weakened by Asta's new sword and the Wind Spirit, which seemed to be a lot. Which, considering the fact how much power the Wind Spirit gave to in the most recent chapters, I think there's a good reason why Mars was defeated. Not to mention the fact that Mars was probably, the way I read chapters seems to imply that Mars was starting to lose his mind a bit, so he was becoming less rational. I mean, the last time I would say he was really rational was when he sent those blades. After that, he just seemed to completely lose it. But that's really it for those two. Maybe Elijah could be the center captain with Mars approaching that level. Now let's go to the other three members. We don't know if there's 8 of the new generation since we only ever saw 5. And let's go through this. One of them was in complete silhouette. We have no idea. Does he have unique magic? Possibly. Maybe he's powerful. Honestly, to me, I feel like when there's going to be this turnaround for this battle in the Spade Kingdom, when the Spade Kingdom's gonna have a counterattack, I would imagine that guy showing up and like just casually kicking Merliona as to show that he is more powerful. But very likely that's not going to happen because Tomato has literally shown these two generals who we've seen, that fat guy and the black guy, because, by the way, just so any SJW is aware, I'm not attacking those two. I'm merely saying that we don't know their names, so I cannot refer to them by that. As soon as we find out their names, I will start referring to them by them. But right now, it's the easiest way to describe them as the black guy and the fat guy. Those two have literally not proven a single feat that makes me think they are stronger than Mars and Loudress. The closest thing that I've seen to people speculating how powerful those two could be is Broko's video when he stated, that since the Diamond Generals are equivalent to the captains, this means that those two were stage 1. First of all, the stage system has been a complete failure as a power scaling system. Probably gonna do a video on it when I get volume 23. And that really doesn't work because, alright, even because we don't know how they rank amongst themselves. I mean, alright, those two are stage ones. Does that mean those two are like top stage ones, like above, or they like just barely? We don't know. Also, we have no idea if they can actually be that. I mean, after all, we haven't seen those guys fight or state to have fought against anyone. We haven't had like, oh, that black guy, whatever his name is, fought Jack. This means that and he didn't lose to him or anything. All we really have to go on is that they are the strongest in the Diamond Kingdom. That's what it is. And for seeing it, we have nothing. In fact, we got their magics revealed in the latest chapter, and they are fire and wind magic. Now, it's possible it's gonna be some different one. I mean, I don't believe they actually do state what their magic names are. And again, it's possible those two have another magic attributes, because I would assume that Morris didn't just gave Mars two magic attributes and gave Loudred the ability to absorb magic, but we don't know. The Diamond Kingdom has been completely and utterly made the butt of the joke. Then we have the Spade Kingdom. Now granted, it's a bit early to tell, so maybe there is going to be some unbelievable powerhouse amongst the Dark Disciples. And again, maybe there will be some kind of a turnaround when the Spade Kingdom shows how little of power the Clover Kingdom had, really. But it's probably not. Considering how Tabata writes his threats, it's possible that after these battles, it will just be Devils taking over and screw the characters. Now again, it's early to tell, and again, I am saying there is going to be a turnaround, so maybe it's just Tabata's writing style. But the simple case is, the Spade Kingdom are really not a threat to anyone outside the Diamond and the Heart Kingdom. I mean, all 7 of their Dark Disciples that we've seen, 2 of them were pretty alright. I mean, defeated Galaroys, and it was a team effort that took down Foil. Alright, they're 40%, and I guess you could say that other characters would have about similar case, but probably not. Honestly, we're being honest ourselves. But then we have the 50%, and Luck dominates the guy who would probably be the most intimidating guy, since he can change his flash to a property that allows him to absorb hits. I mean, he defeated our Spirit Guardian, but that's pretty much it. Which again, I explained why the Spirit Guardians are pretty much worthless already. Charmy is another one of these that has a billion things. Like, she is half dwarf. She has 2 magic attributes. She has 1 magic attribute that absorb the magic of other people. She can use runes. Being a dwarf means she has higher amounts of mana. All of these things, and it's just one character, and she's not even the only one. Like I said, Charlotte is also another one, and Noelle is also another one. Then pretty much everyone of the rest of the Dark Disciples gets pretty much slaughtered. Hell, at this point, even the Dark Disciples in the cast are being slaughtered by the Clover Kingdom. But now we get to the Dark Triad, the main villains of this arc. Now again, if they are fully defeated, that's probably not the case. Like, Dante only lost because of Asta and Yami's countering his ability. Xenon is 55% right now, or 60%, somewhere in that percentage in terms of that power. And Vonica, well, we honestly have no idea how she'll get out, since that spell Charlotte used was specifically made to get stronger and bigger the more Vonica uses curse magic. Maybe some kind of a poison, maybe some kind of blood magic, maybe some kind of maybe it's gonna be a very simple answer like, oh, I know, Monica, deactivate the devil percentage, go back to normal, and then cry your way out. It's unclear, but needless to say, they are, at the beginning, they're pretty intimidating, but right now, they are not. I mean, Xenon's introduction was intimidating as all hell, but then, oh no, the reason he didn't actually body Vengeance without our form, he simply managed to knock him out for a couple of seconds, and then even stay himself that 55% would probably lose to Vengeance, since you said the reason why you lose is because you protect your comrades. Yeah, well, that's where it takes him down. I mean, I know Vengeance is supposed to be the next candidate for the Wizard King, but that's way more. He's more of a support character, so that doesn't really help that much. Like a support character would be able to defeat one of the main villains in 55% form. That's a bit weird. Then we have Vonica, who's in. Alright, let me go through to her how every chapter with her fighting ended. First chapter of her full fight. She gets stabbed by Noelle. Next chapter, she gets sealed by Sacre. Then the next, in where you would think that she would have the easiest time to fight, she gets stabbed by Noelle again. Then the other chapter, we transition to Dante versus Yame. In literally every chapter Vonica has fought, it always ends with her getting a hit. In fact, even now, one chapter, that final hit that Noelle got apparently had something special about it that allowed to hurt. I am questioning that since we've seen Vonica bleed from the mouth before, and there was nothing really to amplify the and Vonica's bleeding is kind of a whole thing with her, so I'm questioning it. But regardless, this is supposed to be one of the main three villains, and she is getting hit by pretty much everyone. Seriously, is anyone who read chapter 277 actually like surprised that Charlotte got that spell on Vonica easily? Like anyone really? Was anyone like imagining if Charlotte had some kind of a spell that she could use against Magicula? Was anyone surprised that she got hit by that? Was it? So, yeah, the Clover King. Then we have Dante, who, although he lost, he's probably the most intimidating of all of them, and he did apparently get stronger. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he get the most half-assed solution ending. Like maybe he'll just be hold down tightly tied, and maybe I don't know, Jack using something to slice him open or something. Or maybe Jack would reveal some kind of new spell that allows him to just slice through everything. I don't really know. No, but yeah, needless to say, the Spirit Kingdom as the main villains are not really that intimidating. And I can totally see why the demons are supposed to completely take over the spotlight. So yeah, the Clover Kingdom is clearly outmatching every other kingdom in an insanely high degree. Seriously, there is literally no competition between the kingdoms. Like anyone who wants to say, oh, they have competition, like there is zero competition. Not only does the Magic Knights have a bunch of different properties that makes them even stronger, not only that the other kingdoms have only like one specialty that the Clover Kingdom already most likely uses, or will most likely learn very quickly. There is literally no competition. Now, I'm hoping that in the next couple of weeks, months, Tabata proves me wrong, and he like has, oh, the Diamond Generals are back and they're kicking the Magic Knights' asses. And the Heart Kingdom shows and they save Magic Knights' asses, with the Diamond Generals also showing up and showing that they're also kicking Magic Knights' asses. Like, maybe we get something like that to show us that the other kingdoms can put up a fight against the Clover Kingdom. It's not going to be Clover Kingdom at the very top, where the rest of the kingdom being somewhere down here. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit, maybe even lower. But yeah, I'm hoping this changes. Also, again, this is not me thinking that Tabata is a shitty rider. I'm just saying that the way he has done the other kingdoms is really poor, and I'm hoping that he does them better, because really there is no real point in them anymore. Seriously, after this arc, I don't really even see why they are needed. So yeah, anyways, I hope you liked this video. I hope you share your opinions in the comments below. I hope you leave a like and subscribe to this channel for more videos in the future. And with that said, I cannot wait to see all people next time. Bye.